You said you're handling this one solo, so tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with the team.
Yeah, I think Brandon, ETH Angel's having a little trouble getting into the Discord, but it's all good. We'll start it off. Cool. Yeah, so hey everyone, thanks for having me in here today. My name's Corey. I'm one of the co-founders and head of everything Web3 in terms of product and marketing for Vcx, and Brandon, who should be joining us, is in charge of everything on the partnership side of things in terms of Web3. So a little bit about my background is I got into the crypto space quite early. I'm from Canada. I spoke about this on a space earlier today that I actually I bought my first Ethereum on Quadriga, which is what the Netflix documentary is about. So that's a fun fact about me. Luckily got out before disappeared off the face of the earth. But other than that, I had a startup prior to VCX that basically connected photographers and videographers and models to local businesses. And it was a marketplace. And then during COVID, I kind of left that and went towards the NFT space, where I started exploring through trading. And then in January, the team came to me asking me if I wanted to help out and build up VCX. So I'll get into it and explain how we started in January and why we're still kind of starting up the marketing here now. So basically, what VCX is, I'm sure some of you have looked into it a little bit. We are a NFT, I guess, membership, you can call it, where you get access to our private deal flow. So we give access to pre-IPO equities opportunities, pre-ICO private opportunities before they go out to the public between 6 to 12 months. So every deal that we get is going to be on either a public stock market, such as the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, or a public crypto exchange, such as FTX, Coinbase, Binance, etc. So we're going to be getting these deals from our 6 partnered VC firms. 2 are focusing on everything Web3 from the pre-ICO range, and then the other 4 will be focusing on pre-IPOs, which are a little bit harder to get, which is why we have more firms. Everything we do is extremely high quality in terms of due diligence and research. We're not here to bring projects onto our platform that are being shilled by influencers or the Kim Kardashians of the world. As we just saw what happened with that. We're here to bring high quality projects that have long-term use cases that we believe will be here in the long run.
Okay.
So,
dude, a lot to unpack. Let's jump in real quick here.
It's a lot about us.
Canadian? You said you're Canadian. Where are you from in Canada?
Yeah. I'm from Toronto.
Fair. Okay, cool. And so you had your first startup, and that was just Web 2.
So my first startup was Web 2. It was kind of earlier on, and then I got into the NFT space, and that took up most of my time. And now I'm here building in Web 3, which is even more
nice. Fun. What did you first start minting, or what are some projects that you liked or have been looking at collecting?
Yeah, so the first NFT project that I minted on Ethereum doesn't even exist anymore. It was called a Moon Boy. It was called a Moon Boy. I'm not sure. It was actually a really cool project. They just screwed up the marketing, and then eventually the founder just gave up and dipped, deleted all socials and the website, whatever. Still hold the NFT. And then I kind of took a step away from Ethereum NFTs for a bit. And then I kind of was going into some one-of-one art pieces that did okay. And I minted I didn't mint. I bought on secondaries an oddity, which I'll hold now just because of what the proof ecosystem is looking to do. And just Kevin Rose, I respect a lot, Ryan Carson, back in the day when he was there, respected a lot, so I know that the team is strong. But I actually went over to Soul NFTs for a little bit just because they were cheaper and more fun to flip. And I had some good success there, way more than I did in the ETH ecosystem. But then when we were looking into building an NFT, we thought, Ethereum, obviously, I prefer this blockchain due to the security and the usage and the sustainability of it, in terms of, it not shutting down every month for a couple hours.
Sure.
Which is why we
just overall, it's a tough pitch, right? To the financial group.
Yeah, for sure. And just like what we were building just made more sense to be in the ETH ecosystem anyways. But, flipping NFTs on Sol was a ton of fun because it was super cheap to do. So, and I kind of stopped buying NFTs over the last few months, more so not because of obviously the market has had an impact on that, but also just because I've been spending pretty much 100% of my time building. So
that's where we're at. And so I went to the Twitter, like you're saying, and checked it. So who are the two dudes that do the pinned video?
Yeah. So those are our majority equity founders. They are obviously, as you saw in the video, extremely experienced in the financial markets, have been around for decades in pretty much everything from banking to starting their own companies to selling their own companies to taking companies public, being, top executives in Silicon Valley startups. They have extensive experience in the financial space, and that's why me and ETH Angel came in to pretty much run the Web3 stuff, because they're just in charge of partnerships with VCs and sourcing deals and all that good stuff. It was also, this project was entirely self-funded by them too, and the other co-founder that's on our website that you can see. That's their background. If you want me to go more in depth, I can with their background as well. But that video explains it well, and their LinkedIn's are on our website as well as also.
For sure, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to do. I just want to mention they're both doxed guys, and it seems. Are you doxed as well, or?
Yeah, everyone on the team's doxed.
The team's completely doxed now. I think we just have one advisor who's not doxed. Just because.
Am I rugging?
You're good.
Oh no, we hear you, I think.
Oh, wonderful.
So everyone's doxed except one advisor. He just chose not to be doxed, but he's just on the financial side, helping us source deals and that stuff. He's really experienced. Or maybe actually the other advisor I can actually dox him now as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Or today. We can dox him now. So one of our advisors is actually the chief operating officer of the #1 crypto exchange in Canada, which is awesome. His name is Eric Richmond. He'll be probably doxed on the website this weekend once I get around to uploading it. So there's a lot of experience on the team from, everything from crypto to traditional finance to private equity, etc.
Okay, nice. So I looked through the white paper. I got an idea. Is the $10,000 a cap of basically what you're asking for the 1,188 mints, or how does that play into it?
Yeah, so the 10K is a maximum allocation per NFT you hold. So you can own multiple NFTs and then you'll be able to allocate more money. So two NFTs will be $20,000 maximum allocation plus a 15% bonus, as an additional benefit to stacking cards. Obviously, the whole point of our NFT is pretty much to democratize access. So in the traditional finance world, when you're, being asked to invest in, a private company, whether that's in the venture capital world or even being an angel investor, or using a site like AngelList, you're going to be asked to invest probably, upwards of $50,000 per deal, and even higher, all the way up to $500K per check size. So we're trying to democratize that and, give people the ability to invest relatively smaller sums of money. So that's why it's a cap at 10K.
Is that how you get around like an accredited investor? I saw that it says in there you have to be an accredited.
Yeah. So to be honest, the white paper has to be a little bit updated. I've been grinding the entire marketing. I haven't got a chance to update
there.
Gotcha. But yeah, so for any of the equity deals, you have to be an accredited investor. Obviously, anything that's going onto a stock market, like if you're investing privately, you must be an accredited investor. There's no way around it. We've gone through two law firms that tried everything. Nothing is possible with the SEC and everything. So that's for the equity side of things. So that's all right because we have a lot of people from Web 2 coming over in our founders' personal networks. That will be able to invest in the pre-IPO deals. And then there's obviously going to be some people in the Web3 space that will be able to invest in the equity deals. But for the ICO deals, even for Americans, you won't have to KYC or be an accredited investor. As of right now, obviously, who knows what it's going to be in the future. But as of right now, the way it's set up is our partner firm, Contango, you can see them on our website. They're set up as a private sale syndicate. So through for the ICOs, without going too technical into it, basically you don't need a KYC for those because they don't really hold the money. You kind of invest in the coin that they offer. They send you the coins back, and then that money goes towards the project. So the way they've set it up through their legal firm, and just kind of going around, I guess, the SEC laws, because this doesn't seem to be an issue anywhere else in the world, just in the US. You don't have to KYC as of right now. So all the Web3 stuff is non-KYC, which is why we kind of created the NFT, because that's how we're going to attract. Well, we want to create a community of like-minded individuals, who are interested in investing and learning and networking. But also this attracted a lot of people to invest in pre-ICOs, because a lot of the Web 2 people are kind of scared of the crypto world, and aren't really interested in investing in the pre-ICOs. But creating this NFT, is more intriguing for the Web 3 market.
Okay, gotcha. So, and just to review, so how much is the actual mint price?
Yeah, so the mint price isn't set in stone. We're kind of just keeping an eye on the market. But it's going to be, I can tell you with full transparency, it's going to be a little bit higher than the average mint price. It's going to be between $500 and $1,000 US. It really just depends on, what the community is vibing, plus what the market's looking like. And the reason for this is because, one, we want to curate, a community of people who are genuinely interested in the project and not people who are going to degen flip it. That's the first thing. And the second thing is because, have people in our community, we want them to, at least be able to invest in a couple of deals per year. You don't have to invest in all of them, but at least a couple. And by, putting a couple $100 more than you usually would, that means you can probably afford to invest, $500 to $1,000 in the pre-ICOs that we bring to the table.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the reason for that. Obviously, there is the market is the market right now, and it's going to be a little bit tougher to sell it. But we're pretty confident from the people that we've spoken to and the people who are willing to pre-buy it, that they're willing to spend that much. Also, because this is going out to a lot of Web 2 people as well, it's actually a very competitive rate in the Web 2 market. A lot of people charge about $2,500 per year just to be on these types of lists. So that's another reason for the higher price.
Okay, gotcha. So, in theory, you're trying to, like you say, work on a bit of a community. Do you guys have a Discord or something now that you're working out of?
Yeah, so right now we have a Discord. We just hired a full-time analyst who is also the analyst in the Gents Croquet Club, Champs, NFT Academy, maybe. I don't know, but he is a very, very, very strong analyst. In my opinion, one of the best in the game. He is doing great work with education, market analysis, alpha. So that's one of the things that we're obviously bringing to the community. But the thing is, everyone does those types of things. So another thing that we really want to do is kind of, expand what we're offering to our holders in terms of, networking and learning from industry leaders of all, types of industries and different alternative assets. So yesterday we had a, private VC, a Web3 VC come into our Discord and speak to the community. That's also recorded, so you can listen to that in our Discord if you're interested. He had some really unique perspectives on the market. But that's just like the type of things that we want to do, because we really want to help people connect, network, and learn about different industries. So having these like AMAs with not just people in crypto, but people in other worlds is really important to us.
For sure, man. Well, so as a group of investors, you have to have a certain interest in basically managing your money and doing it in the right way. Do you have another kind of like team or branch that is going out there and trying to find these new investments that you would put money into? Also curate those type of people internally? Like you said, the VC guy came in. Did he talk about what he would invest in, or is it more what you should invest in? Or
No, he was talking about basically what their firm looks, because the firm that he's part of is one of our partner firms, which actually worked out really well, because he was able to explain to the community how they source deals, what they look for, pretty much the vetting process before they invest in companies. And then he also spoke about some of the best and worst investments he made, the average return on investments that they've made or that he's made personally as well. General tips on looking for what to invest in, because like they're not a firm that kind of invest. A lot of VC firms will invest in as many things as possible, and then if two of them hit, they make a return on investment. The firms that we've partnered with are a bit different. They do a little bit. They're a little bit less risky in that sense. They kind of just look out for the highest quality investments. So he had a really unique perspective on what to look for in the markets.
For sure. So I guess in theory, is the 10,000 basically a cap for every single round of investment you're bringing in? Or so what type of funding are you looking to like raise? And is that just like kind of for internal funding? And then what type of kind of allotments are you going to be looking for, like $5 to $10 million placements? Yeah. Like what type of...
Gotcha. Brandon, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So just so I understand the question perfectly, it's the $10,000 limitation that you can invest per card. Why is that there?
No, it's more like, so 10,000 per 1,100, or right, is, let's say, like a $10 million.
Yeah, it would end up being an $18 million raise if everybody put in money, which is obviously just not going to happen.
And so our maximum allocation.
So yeah, like what are you looking for in companies of like in size of capital that you're going to be investing in?
Yeah, so we usually get and we share allocation with the different VC funds that we partner with. So we'll be in the range of raising anywhere between 2 and 10 is going to be our sweet spot, depending on the deal and obviously the valuation, and then depending on what percentage of the community wants to get involved, which again will probably come down to the company and then the valuation also.
Okay, great. So that's coming through the partner, like you said, or you're going to kind of piggyback on this.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Okay, interesting. And so, like I said, I don't know if I got this clear too. Are you guys going to be trying to curate startups or groups amongst your community as well that are going to get investments?
Yeah, so we definitely can. And that's something that Cork and I were actually speaking about the other day, which is interesting, is actually people from our community we're gonna, if they are founders and whatnot, we're actually willing to make warm introductions to our VC partners who might invest at earlier stages than what we bring onto the platform. And then it would be pretty cool in the future if someone in our community, we ended up, raising money for them on the platform. That would be kind of like full circle, really cool.
For sure. And so like the operations of VCX in general, like once you guys actually like raise the funds, what do you guys plan to be doing kind of every day?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of twofold. So sourcing different deal flow and meeting with a number of VCs that we end up sharing deal flow with is a huge component and takes a lot of time. Also other founders will be sourcing deal flow in both pre-IPOs and ICOs as well. Obviously, our analyst will continue to do his job. And then Cork and I have some plans to, expand the platform and bring some other really cool amenities to the community. So that will actually take up a ton of time as well. And then the in real life events that we have planned they're going to be crazy. So we're excited for that.
Okay, interesting. So like what type of plans do you guys, or like thoughts do you have for your events?
Yeah, so
it's mostly going to be, sorry, if I could just jump in. Mostly, since we're curating this specific type of community, we want to make sure that it's a really, interesting event that's not like any others in the NFT space, meaning that we want to have networking events and conferences / speakers from all types of industries. People that are like industry leaders that people actually know and can relate to, and that are actually interested in, people that quote unquote are famous, is kind of the ideal candidate for these types of events. People that you'll have a chance to network with, and listen to, and connect with. And then also we want to have, one of the things that we're thinking about is kind of having like a Shark Tank style, not necessarily in-person event, but, over Zoom with some of our community who can, pitch their startups or ideas to the community. And then we can either give out large cash prizes or put you in front of our investors as well. So there's a couple things. And then also we really want to scale the platform at some point, which could cost a lot of money, just because we think over time this might have future benefits as a subscription model that obviously would be, on the second hand in terms of the NFT. So NFT holders would get, 1,000x more benefit than someone who subscribed for a month. We've seen it already with a couple NFTs already that are going with the subscription model on top of their NFT. And that's something that we could potentially look into in terms of scaling the platform, and bringing more value to our holders as well.
Okay, right. I guess there you go. Do I actually make investments in crypto with like my MetaMask?
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it goes. Usually it would send it in, most likely it'll be sent in USDC or USDT. We're also, the firms that we're partnered with, they're kind of chain agnostic. So we might get deals from other layer ones or even layer twos as well.
So like in theory, my shares in these companies are going to come in as like an Etherscan transaction?
Yeah, for sure.
Right
100% of the time.
That's interesting.
Because if they're not equities, we're not going to take wire transfers and things like that. We might as well just do it on the blockchain so everyone can track it and know where their money's going. Because obviously it's less regulated, so people might be a little bit more fearful, but you'll be able to track everything on the blockchain.
And do you guys actually take cash payments at all? or checks?
In terms of the pre-ICOs, I am not exactly sure. We would have to discuss that with our partner firms because they're obviously the ones that are licensed to do all this stuff. I just want to clarify that we're not a VC firm. We're pretty much a middleman that's connecting firms and companies to investors. But they're only listed on our token gated platform. But then you would go directly through the licensed and regulated firms.
Gotcha. And so this platform, you said you started working on it maybe like back in last January?
No, so I forgot to get to that point. So in January is when we came up with the idea, but then we had to go through a lot of not legal issues, but identifying key legal points in terms of how we can do this in a regulated fashion or a legal fashion. So that took a few months to go through that process. And then in May or June, we built the platform and did all the, I guess, design work, designed the NFT card, the access card that's already designed as well. The platform's built, and then we started marketing in July. And to be completely honest, with full transparency, we didn't do it necessarily right, the marketing at first, which is totally okay because I'm a big fan of pivoting and kind of just doing what's right if you have to, which is why we haven't minted yet. So we kind of restarted our entire marketing plan in, I guess, the middle of September, and it's been going way better. Restarted our Twitter, hired a new graphic designer, did a lot of good things for the better of the NFT.
And are you guys working out of Toronto at a specific office, or are you going out of any like tech incubators out there?
We're totally remote right now. In terms of incubators, there is a potential incubator that we're looking at.
I can't say much.
I can't really say much right now, just because nothing's official. But what I can say is the incubator that we're looking at is owned by someone very, very popular in the NFT space.
Gotcha. And you guys have you been in touch with them like before all this, or this is more just like developments from the web?
This is, just recently kind of came across them. Had like 6 meetings with them. We're going a couple ways with them, not just the incubator, but potentially sharing deal flow with them as well to bring more Web3 deals. And yeah.
For sure. And just as so you're doing like 1,188, right? Are you ever planning on expanding that collection or doing some?
Yeah, so it's 1,888 are.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, 1888. Our focus extended. Our focus right now is completely on the first drop. There are ideas just about expanding the platform into a subscription-based model, perhaps sometime in the future, if the time comes and it makes sense. We're always exploring that, but again, then it would be a lot cheaper and way more benefits for the actual 1,888, you could say, founding members. But for right now, our focus is solely on the 1,888 drop.
Gotcha. And what about just in the long run? Like you mentioned AngelList and things like that. Do you ever have like a vision to be kind of scale up to a larger platform, like you're saying, on that size, or is it more?
Yeah,
you always want to keep it?
No, so I think in the short run, I think building the community and curating it to be investors from all markets is something that all the founders on this team really like. Is that we're not, it's not like a group of investors that are all from Toronto or Miami or Dubai or wherever it might be, right? It's kind of like we're worldwide and we're building our own community. So I love that aspect. And then I love the aspect of having people in Discord that, talk and communicate and kind of help each other and whatnot. And that, kind of like, I guess, like helpful sense of different members that are helping each other. But in the long run, 5-10 years down the line, I would definitely see having our initial group as founding members and then always returning the most utility to them, and then scaling the platform via subscription-based model, so that obviously you can onboard more users. But again, our focus would always be the initial founding members. So whatever we do would just bring more benefits to them in the future.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
But yeah, I think we could beat AngelList, honestly, in the future. There's a lot of problems.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've used AngelList sometimes for years. It's
all right.
Not really that many competitors, I guess. Rather,
yeah. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you.
And I definitely don't think there's too many that don't want you to KYC.
That also, and then they also don't really have Web3 deals. I think my thesis is also that there's enough, customers and people and for everybody, and for us to win doesn't necessarily mean that someone else has to lose. I think everyone can kind of operate in the space and kind of carry out their plans.
So as far as, like I mentioned there, like, so you said around $2 to $10 million. Do you have like a number of investments that you guys are planning to like bring to the table a year?
Yeah. So it will obviously depend. Bull market. I won't say bear. I'll say buyers. Bull versus buyers market. So for us in the current, marketing outlook right now, we're looking at around 10 pre-IPO deals, and then anywhere between 12 and 15 ICO deals. Obviously, as we scale and obviously expand the platform and onboard more Web 2 and Web 3 VC firms, those will also scale in proportion as we add more to the platform as well.
Okay, and is there going to be like I would say risk categories or any type of categories in a way that you can have focus?
Yes. Yeah, I actually love that question. So this is something that we've been talking about a bunch recently, and that's that we actually want to put our public research reports out to the community before they invest. So obviously, maybe we'll put like we're not really going to have anything that's like one like extremely high risk. But we are considering doing some sort of like grading, kind of like what you were talking about, but then also putting out the research reports to the public so that people can also make like better informed decisions, because we're not a fund, obviously, and we're not a DAO. So, the good thing about us is that you can kind of invest or pass on any deal that comes across the platform. And I think by putting these research reports out, so it's not something that most VC funds make transparent, and I think would help everyone out quite a bit.
Perfect. And with the tracking of things, just for like the size of the placement, is there a kind of first come, first serve to get into the smaller, like $2 million or less deals that might fill up quicker?
We're still discussing, but that potentially could have to do with whale status. Potentially not, can't release everything. But we are among the idea that, everyone should traditionally, this is a problem, right? Traditionally, like the more money you have, the more opportunities you get. So for us, it's kind of like we want to bring the same opportunities to everybody. And that's why everyone gets the same valuation, right? Regardless of how much you're investing, whether it be 50K, 100K, or 10K. So everyone might just be proportionately ration back if there's a smaller round, or if we have a little more allocation, instead of everyone can invest 10K for a specific deal, we might make a rule that, you can invest 12K. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. And is there any like minimum investment size that you're putting in?
Yeah. So for pre-IPOs, it's $2,500, just because honestly, that's just like the minimum amount of money it's worth it for our partner and broker to do all the work that is required on the legal end. And then for ICOs, it will be between 500 and 1,000 minimum.
Okay, gotcha. I just wonder, has your company gone into any fundraising before, or is this the first kind of capital raise that VCX is doing?
Yeah, no. So we own and control 100% of VCX, and all the money has been raised internally by the founders. Everyone's done well for themselves, so we're not looking to raise outside capital at this time.
Gotcha. Okay, and so do you know when the mint's going to be, and give us is it managed with an allow list, or what are you doing there?
Yeah, so in terms of mint date, supply, price, the supply obviously is 1888. The mint price is going to be between $500 and $1,000 US, and the mint date will be in the next couple of weeks. So coming up, and yeah, we're super excited. Oh yeah, and sorry, the allow list. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part. We're doing it in two phases. So phase one is guaranteed, not over allocated, and priority to mint, and then so that would be for people that are in this AMA. And then phase two is obviously second priority to phase one, and then you can fill out an application to move from phase two to phase one.
Okay, cool. If you fill out an application. Oh, okay. If it does, you mean like
you're in phase two, which is
amount?
Yeah. Okay, so phase one pretty much is all the top tier collabs that we have, including you guys, Ape List, Admit One, Zenica's 333 Club, Doodles, just pretty much the top groups that we've collabed with are all in phase one in terms of who won the giveaways there. And then phase two is all, I guess, the not so, the just the lesser valued communities, let's say. And essentially, if you want to move into phase one, that means you got to be really intrigued and interested in the project, which is why you have to fill out an application just explaining why, what value you can bring to VCX and why you want to mint it and the purpose for minting it. And honestly, we've had a large amount of applications, which is kind of crazy. Didn't really expect it.
Very cool. And so do you have a timeline for yourself kind of guys set because you have kind of a first investment planned?
Yeah, so the one investment, or I guess we have a couple. So the pre-ICOs are kind of coming out on a rolling basis. So our Web3 firm isn't really going to wait for us because they just don't have that much time in terms of, kind of accepting the deal and then spitting it out. But for the pre-IPO one, they're not in like a rush to raise money. So they've been very lenient with us, and they've been okay waiting for us. They want us to fund it specifically, which is awesome. So that's going to for sure going to be the first deal on the platform right away. But yeah, just to clarify, the reason why we don't necessarily have a specific mint date is because we want to do it properly and just make sure that we're ready to go before we mint.
Gotcha. Okay. And some of these ICOs that these other companies have kind of dropped before, do you have any examples of those? And is there like lock periods, kind of like normal?
Yeah. So I can give you, if you go to their website, contango.digital, you can see all their past pre-ICO investments, but one of them is Thor Wallet, if you've ever heard of that. Another one is Phantom Pad. Did one last year that 150x from the time they invested in it to the time it went public, or I guess from the time they invested in it till a couple weeks after it hit the market. On average, from the research we've done, they've done on average a 4 to 5x for most of their projects, and they're pretty young firm, so as they get older and kind of get more experienced, there's definitely going to be much more upside to their investments than any potential downside. But yeah, you can view all their past deals on their website. If you go to our website, venturecapitalx.io, and go to partners, Tango is the first partner on the list, and you can go to their website from there and just scroll down and all their deals are there.
I see that. Cool. It's just funny. Are you actually going to be doing physical real estate plays? Is it Sotheby's like kind of doing REITs, or is it something along those lines in the real estate market?
Yeah. So we have a second, I guess, part to our utility of owning the card. So there's a couple things. So obviously you saw the Sotheby's right off the bat because that's one of the brands, I guess, that you know. No, so Sotheby's will not be for investment purposes. That's strictly, we have connections to SVP level concierge services at Sotheby's. So essentially, if you want to buy or sell any property around the world, you get automatic access to senior vice president level retailers instead of going on like the lower end. We'll give you the top of the line people just by owning our card, which is awesome. And then we have FAF on there, which is a Canadian automotive leasing and financing company. They can pretty much give you access to skip the line and find any car that you really want, and they'll help you finance it, and they'll help you find it and locate it around the world. That being supercars, obviously. These are the types of things that are not for everyone, but there will be some people in our community that might want these. And then we also have access to top of the line Rolex realtors that can help you, I guess, skip the line or potentially get retail price watches as well.
Know your audience, classy gentlemen and ladies. Gotcha.
Yeah, like I said, those are not for everyone, obviously, but it's just an added benefit that, you know, we have connections to. We might as well just offer it to our community.
No, for sure, man. I respect that's a kind of a bigger point of somehow onboarding some of these companies into the space is sometimes just getting yourself an active little community and doing some little project with them that maybe in the long time could grow into dropping a REIT with Sotheby's or something in the
ICO. We also partnered with a hotel in Portugal. One of the community members owns a very nice hotel in Portugal, and he offered to give our community 15% if you ever want to stay there, which is awesome as well. So, you know, we can help out anyone in our community that want to promote their business if it's the right thing, just like we did with the hotel, for example.
Nice, man. So I don't know. I feel like I've got an idea of what Vcx is doing. Did I miss anything glaring?
All right, I'm rugging.
Sorry, were you asking us?
Yeah, he was asking us. We were both rugging at the same time.
No, I thought he was asking someone else in the voice chat. No, I don't think you missed anything. I think we got it all down pat. If you guys have any other questions, you know, feel free to DM me. My DMs are always open. Come into our Discord, hang out. You can utilize our free market analysis and education for the time being, if you wish. As I said, he's one of the best in the game. Our analyst, sorry. So yeah, feel free to come hang out and chat with him. And yeah.
Will do, man. Thanks for coming. Appreciate
thanks for having us.